welcome. Today we have a really exciting show for you today. We would like to. Oh, is that good? Okay. Again, we have a really exciting show for you today. We look forward to spending this hour with you. I also like to say that today is International Women's Day, and we want to make an acknowledgement of that, and it's very, very important. And we're just so happy that we're a part of it because it's been something that started since, with further research, since 1911. This acknowledgement has been being acknowledged for International Women's Day. So let's just keep that in mind as we move forward with our broadcast today. Also, what I like to do is introduce a esteemed audience guest. His name is Dr. Payne, and he will be here today with announcements regarding the
veterans.
The veterans, yes, because we always love to give you information regarding our veterans and, all the new and upcoming things that they have going on. So what I like to do is introduce Dr. Payne.
Good afternoon. My name is Dr. Brownell Payne. I'm a physician and located in the Leimert Park, Crenshaw area. And my purpose today, first of all, I want to acknowledge all the women of the world. This is International Women's Day, along with International Women's Month. So hats off and kudos to all women on this planet.
Yes.
My function today is to inform our veterans in the area about an upcoming general meeting we're having. I am the commander of the local American Legion post in the Leimert Park area. That's called American Legion Post 109. And we have monthly meetings, monthly gatherings where we actually work with veterans in terms of their disability rights, in terms of just hanging out together, camaraderie, and also just sharing a lot of things that we as veterans can do. This coming, a week from this coming Monday, which is March the 19th, we're having our monthly general meeting. And the address is 3740 Don Felipe Avenue in Los Angeles, zip code 90008. Now, this meeting is held at the Crenshaw United Methodist Church. The start time is 6:30, and we should be finished with our meeting and out the door by 8:30. We're going to have refreshments, raffles. We're going to acknowledge all the veterans. This particular week, we're acknowledging those veterans who fought, who served, not only fought, who served during the Vietnam era.
Wow.
We're going to give a special accommodation medal that was begun with former President Obama, acknowledging all those veterans who served during the time of the Vietnam conflict. Not just those that were over there, but those veterans that actually, because here's the deal, it takes 9 soldiers to support one combat soldier who's actually doing the fighting. So this accommodation, this service is not just for the combat veteran, for all those other 9 soldiers that supported that combat veteran. So we're giving special accommodation medals out to anyone who served between, and this is important, between March of 1962 and November of 1975, who served anywhere in the world during that time. You don't have to be over in Vietnam. You can actually be any place, but during those years, between 62 and 75, we're giving medals and accommodation sheets to all veterans who served during the Vietnam era. So we welcome you to come out to our general meeting. There's going to be a flyer on the website to give you additional information about that. But come out, learn about your veterans benefits, hang out with some of your fellow veterans, male and female.
Male and female. We can't forget about those
our
women.
Post 109, we have a substantial amount of female veterans because they also serve.
Yes, absolutely.
They serve with pride. We actually, in our post, have the oldest living Afro-American female in our post who served in World War II. Miss Wolf is 96 years old. She's a veteran of World War II. She comes to all of our meetings. She's Afro-American and a powerful person. So come out to our meeting. find out about your benefits, or just simply hang out, with your fellow veterans, whether you're in the Coast Guard, the Air Force, the Navy, the Army,
included?
And the Marine Corps, including Reserve.
Okay.
Just come out, and we'll talk about joining our American Legion post. But even if you're not part of the American Legion, or if you don't want to be part of the American Legion, come to our meeting and just hang out and just feel that camaraderie that you had back in the day when you served your country so proudly. So once again, Erica, I appreciate you allowing me to make this announcement.
Thank you so
We'll
much.
be on this show from time to time talking about veterans benefits and what we can do as a veteran organization to help you.
We appreciate your announcements, Dr. Payne. We appreciate the American Legion Post 109. We appreciate the Crenshaw Methodist Church for giving us the opportunity to have our meetings there, and that's at 3740 Don Felipe Drive, Los Angeles, California. And we would like for each and every one of you, if you have someone that pick up the phone, call them, give them tell them, we're being acknowledged. We're taking some time out to say that we appreciate and we understand and we're there for you through this Post 109.
Just one more comment. One of the things we specialize in supporting and helping those veterans that are disabled.
Okay.
There are a number of veterans that are disabled, and we really do a lot of work for those disabled veterans in terms of employment, in terms of housing, and in terms of getting your full benefits.
Wow. You know something? That information is priceless. So we're going to be here at the Raymond Hall Show, constantly reminding you, our audience, about this date that's coming up, which is March the 19th. Thanks a lot so much, Dr. Payne, for coming and joining us on our panel today and giving us that announcement. What we're going to do right now is take a short break, pause for the cause, and we'll be right back with you at the Raymond Hall Show here at Morris Media Studios live. Welcome back. Thanks for being with us today. Welcome back, and thanks for being with us here at the Raymond Hall Show. We're going to take this time out and this segment to follow up on our financial literacy segment that we have been speaking about. This is our second installment, and this installment is going to be a follow-up of the survey of household economics and decision making. We have a short clip that we like to show you. It's a 3-minute clip, so grab your pens and paper and look out for this video coming right up now.
The Federal Reserve Board's report on the economic well-being of U.S. households is based on the annual survey of household economics and decision-making, also known as the SHED. 2016 marked the board's 4th year of the survey. We invite you to read the latest report. It highlights some of the financial and economic issues that are currently affecting the well-being of U.S. households.
The SHED gives us an opportunity to understand from the individuals surveyed what they think about on a range of activities in their financial lives. In 2016, financial well-being continued to exhibit modest improvements. 70% of adults report that they're either living comfortably or doing okay, compared to 62% when the same question was first asked in 2013. However, 30%, or approximately 73 million adults, still report some difficulty getting by financially. Some parts of the report focus specifically on individuals with low or moderate incomes, providing insight on how people with less means are faring.
The report contains rich data that can be analyzed from multiple angles, including gender, race, ethnicity, and education of survey respondents. In the SHED, Black and Hispanic respondents express elevated levels of financial challenges across many dimensions. For example, when looking at eviction by race and ethnicity, the percent of people who had moved recently because they were evicted or faced the threat of eviction is twice as much among Hispanics than whites.
We also compare work scheduling by education levels. For workers with a high school degree or less, we noted two important findings. First, they're more than twice as likely to have a variable work schedule as those with a bachelor's degree, 24% versus 11%. Second, they also often have less advance notice of their schedules, typically receiving their schedules no more than 3 days in advance. Additionally, when looking at trends of one's perceptions of well-being, we see that those with less education are the least likely to feel that their financial situation has improved in the past year. This is particularly true among whites who have no more than a high school degree.
In monitoring financial outcomes and considering how financial decisions are formed, the results of this survey help establish a more informed picture of the financial status of American families. This view offers a wide perspective on a range of topics, including employment experiences, income and savings behaviors, economic preparedness, education and human capital, and student loans and retirement planning. Across these areas, we find from the survey results that more people have at least some retirement savings, and fewer people are ill-prepared for modest emergencies that may arise when compared to last year. There also has been a continued increase in the share of adults who feel that credit is available to them should they desire it. Although not all adults improved financially relative to 2015, in general, the results do reflect a continuation of the positive trend observed in recent years.
Wasn't that interesting? I found that to be very, very informative. So what we like to do now is take our 3 takeaway points from that financial literacy insight from the federal government, which is number 1, your income and savings behaviors. These are things that we all need to take into consideration when we're doing our financial planning and financial literacy updates as far as being more stable moving forward. Next, our economic preparedness. They made a mention to that in the report that we just watched. So being prepared for emergencies is like of vital importance. Next, they also touched on the the education and human capital. So education is something that no matter where we go, it always just keeps coming back around. Even if you can get a certification or, go back to school just, to learn to whatever you may want to spend some time to go back to school and add to that, by,
Correct.
Like I said, taking some small courses or even, just continuing your education, because as we discovered in the clip, the education level factor has a lot to do across the board with your financial stability. So those are just 3 of the takeaways, 3 of the things that we're going to focus on going forward. And we're going to look more in depth into financial literacy. Next week, we're going to be going into financial literacy planning. And in that planning, the first thing we're going to look at is what are your primary financial goals? which is, like if you don't know what your goals are, where are you going? Next, we're going to look at your instituting a personal financial habits of your finances. Next, we're going to look at creating a financial calendar together. We're going to work on this all together in moving forward with financial literacy. So I thought that it was very interesting. I'm looking forward to being right there with you as we move forward in learning more about becoming more stable financially and securing our family's goals for the future.
Great.
You see that, Mr. Doctor, and he's a doctor, Dr. Payne.
One of the things I think as we begin to, the disparities between education makes a huge difference, and I think that if as I talk about about physical health, we also need to include financial health. And I think that last 3-minute segment was extremely interesting and informative because people could see the disparities between, say, high school education versus a bachelor's degree. Huge difference. And so that was, Erica, that was powerful. That was a powerful 3-minute segment.
Thank you very much. We're gonna take a quick break, and we'll be right back with you here at the Raymond Hall Show. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Well, good afternoon, and thank you for allowing us to continue to be a part of your space. And this is Raymond Hall, and I'm the host of the Raymond Hall Show. And you've been here with Mrs. Erica Flynn Walker, the co-host. And we want to thank Dr. Barnell Payne for sharing that information with us. We have a special guest with us today. She's the executive director for the Center for Healthcare Rights, Arlene Harper. And this show is special because oftentimes we talk about service, and this is one of those shows where we are using the show to call people to service. Exactly. A lot of times we talk about people that have given service, and we want to ask everyone to call to service. Arlene, are you there?
Hello.
Okay. Well, hello? Arlene? Look like we're having some
Okay, hello, are you there? Hello? Oh, there she goes.
Hello? Okay. Look like the engineer is getting some things straight. So as I was saying, I wanted to thank Dr. Barnell Payne. He does a lot of work in the community. You saw the face of the house calls and CPR, and he's the commander for Post 109. Arlene, are you there?
She's still working on it.
Okay, so...
it's Freddie.
Freddie's on the line.
Okay.
All right. Well, we're going to go on and we're going to come back to Arlene. We have Mr. Freddie Muse Jr. on the line, and he's quite a remarkable young man. This young man had prostate cancer, and he is one of those situations where you take something bad and do something good out of it. So, Freddie, are you on the line?
Yeah, I am, Mr. Hall. How are you?
I'm doing fine, young man. Talk to us about your organization, what it does, and how long you all been in business and things like that.
Okay, good. Thank you for asking. So the Men's Cancer Network Incorporated, I started that back in 2008, just 1 year after I survived from prostate cancer myself.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we started in 2008. We are in our 10th year of operation.
Mm-hmm.
And our mission is to provide educational support and additional support for men and their families for awareness, prevention, and utilizing our cancer support groups.
Mm-hmm. Now, is there a certain geographic area that you provide this at, or is this throughout Southern California or the state, or what do you do?
Yes, sir. Well, it's actually throughout the 5 counties of Southern California.
Mm-hmm.
But we've had men reach out to us as far away as Omaha, Nebraska, and Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Okay, all right. So I understand you have an event coming up on the 20th of this month?
Yes, indeed. We do, Mr. Hall. Actually, we're having a veterans workshop.
Okay.
Good.
And so what that does, the Men's Cancer Network has partnered with UCLA and the VA to bring out the awareness, the importance of awareness of colorectal cancer.
Okay.
Colorectal cancer screening to our veterans in the South LA communities.
Okay.
So to accomplish this, we are holding 2 to 3 hour workshops in our community.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So we're based basically in the heart of Los Angeles. Okay, but our particular portion of LA is the Spa 6 service area.
Okay.
Okay. So
now, is there a specific reason that the Spa 6 South Los Angeles area was the designated area, or is it higher degrees of prostate cancer in that area as opposed to, say, Spa 4 or Spa 2 or something?
Well, actually, there is. Spa 6 is a low service area for health services. Period.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so African Americans, Latinos, whites, folks living in the Spa 6 area. There's not many hospitals to go to. There's not many treatment centers to go to. They have to travel outside of the service area to get treated.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
And for this particular one, we're talking about colorectal cancer.
Okay.
Because March is colorectal cancer awareness month.
Oh, okay.
So that's why we're highlighting colorectal cancer for this month, March.
Okay. Now, so the 20th event, is this going to be the only event on the 20th, or are you all looking to do it again?
Well, yes, we are looking to repeat the event, because we won't be able to get that many veterans to attend. Well, actually, I shouldn't say that. All veterans, men and women, are actually invited to attend.
Okay.
But we'd like to get as many veterans as we can, because I have a great love for veterans. I'm not a veteran myself, and I'm kind of sorry about that. Back in the day, that I just didn't sign up. But all of my friends are, and over the years, we have developed a great love for our veterans. They served us to keep us free in this country all the years of my life. And so, in return, I'd like to serve the veterans by providing this colorectal cancer workshop,
right,
where we are offering them a $25 gift card for their participation.
Okay. Well, I am a veteran, and Mrs. Walker has a rich history of veterans in her family that go all the way back to those persons that served in the 1st Regiment there in New York.
Oh my God! Well, thank you both for your services.
Yeah, so I definitely want to thank you for what you're doing to help this community, because we need all the help we can get. Now, you would think that the Raymond Hall Show is saying, well, we're worldwide. Well, why are we focusing so much? We're based here in Southern California. Matter of fact, we're in the beautiful city of Los Angeles, specifically in the Inglewood community, in the Leimert Park. And it's historic. And what we are saying to you, you have your historic community in wherever you are as well. And whenever you see certain communities, you're going to find that there are some communities who have a greater access to services than others. So this young man, Mr. Muse Jr., is focusing on a community where services are sometimes not so readily available. So in your community, whether it's on the East Coast, West Coast, North, South, look at how you can provide services or seek out those communities that need some help. Freddie, we're going to thank you so very much for bringing this to you. So one last thing now. Talk to us clearly about what you want to do, what you want the community to do to get involved.
Right.
Okay, great. Well, thank you so much for allowing that. So for the community, we want our communities to know that cancer is not a death sentence anymore, unless you're allowed to be.
Okay.
So, and that we are promoting clinical preventive services, because those are evidence-based and proven to work to save lives.
Okay.
Okay. And the last thing I want to say is that don't be afraid to go to a doctor. Get to a doctor and get yourself screened, because the key point there is early detection.
Okay. So now, how do people get in contact with you? Give us your web address and give us your telephone contact.
Sure. So our website is www. And this is all one word, themenscancernetwork.com.
Okay.
And our telephone number, we can be reached at area code 323-795-0589.
Okay.
Good. Thank you
so
much.
that takeaway point is you don't have to die with cancer unless you don't do nothing about it.
Because I am an avid cancer survivor supporter.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
And just doing nothing is not an option.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so very much. And we look forward to having you as a in-studio guest. And we have in our studio a doctor. So the next time he has his house calls.
Right. We'll definitely put you on the list so you can be there.
Well, we gonna ask him. He might want to charge us a few coins for recommendation.
Right.
He's a pretty decent fella.
Yes.
Okay, and he's the commander of 109.
And he's a veteran.
And he's a veteran.
And he's a commander of Post 109.
He's commander of Post 109.
Oh my God.
And he it's just one thing I have to constantly forgive him for.
What?
He was in the Army.
Oh my God! And you were in the Marines.
I was in the Marines.
Wow.
That's right.
My dad was Navy and my sister's Air Force, so we're all covered.
Yeah. So he's good with me though.
Right.
He's a good guy. Okay. All right. And I would be remiss because there's someone that's a giant in the community, Mr. Johnny Morris.
Yes.
He's my mentor, and Miss Felicia Morris is the owner of Morris Media Studios. I think it's a family affair,
yes,
though.
It is.
But we definitely want to reach out to that family. Say thank you. So, Freddie, thank you so very much.
So much.
And we look forward to supporting you on March the 20th. One more time, give us the location of the event and give us the time.
Okay, fantastic. So the location the event will be held at Healthy African American Families.
Okay.
Right there in the Mert Park.
Okay.
43rd and Degnan.
Okay.
And the time would be 11 a.m. to 2 p.m.
All right. Well, we will see you there. God bless you, young man. Thank you for the work that you do, and thank you for all the lives that you help to save through your work advocacy.
Thank you so
Well,
much.
thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate this time.
Okay.
Have
a good day.
God bless both of you. God bless both of you.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Get involved. It's very important. We're living in a time where answers and solutions are afforded. And so we want to be able to take advantage of those things. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't, I've told my story so many times. I have to just sit down sometime and wonder.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
And the mercy and the grace of, of everything that you've been through to be able to tell your story, being in the military and being a heart transplant survivor, there's a lot to be grateful for.
Yeah. Well, I'm also thankful for you.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because when you told me your story, I realized that I'm not the only person on this earth with a grateful story.
Exactly.
A reason to be grateful and a reason to be thankful. So we're all thankful, and we want to make sure that if you have an opportunity to be in a state of health, then do that. Okay. We're going to move along. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back. I want to thank Mrs. Walker each and every time for each and every show. Challenges sometimes look like you just can't schedule them. I'm ready, and the national office called and said they want an appointment.
Okay.
Yeah, so who can turn a national organization down, So you just roll with the flow and know that you have competent people around you and keep going. So we're thankful for each and everything. We're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back.
when she calls in. Make sure it's plugged in.
All right. Thank you so very much. And we are back. You're tuned in to the Raymond Hall Show. Follow us on our social media platform, and that's Facebook and Twitter and iTunes
Instagram.
and Instagram. Okay. And
At the Raymond Hall Show.
At the Raymond Hall Show. And, you know, at 2 o'clock, you can go to morrismediastudios.com. And what will happen is you can look at us live.
Yes.
Okay. And I know that we'll be live on the YouTube channel as well. Okay. And our thing is to bring you information that's important to you. Okay. So.
Right. We're bridging between the communities here, and we're promoting dialogue of vital importance. So.
Okay. And speaking of such, we have a very special guest with us today. Sorry for the delay. Eileen Harper, are you on the line?
Yes, I am.
Oh,
Very
thank you
good.
so very much for your patience.
Thank you.
I have to tell you all something. They are so gracious. They agreed to be a part of this at the very last minute.
Thank you
I
so
was
much.
at a commissioner meeting Monday, and they talked about how certain things had been defunded. So I want to give you a little information here. Eileen Harper is the executive director for the Center for Healthcare Rights here in Los Angeles County. It's a nonprofit and it's an advocacy organization dedicated to promoting access to quality health care for consumers. Mrs. Harper has over 30 years of experience counseling and advocacy services and developing programs and implementing and managing healthcare advocacy programs. She has a BA from Berkeley.
Wow.
That's very progressive.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
A master's degree
Right. Okay.
in health administration. from
You are
University.
quite accomplished.
Very much so.
All right, thank you.
Yes. The reason for asking you to appear, I was quite set back when I heard that the funding stream from the federal government had been defunded, which would affect funding here locally in Los Angeles County.
Well, no decision has been made yet in terms of defunding the federal Medicare SHIP program. I think the concern is that we were scheduled to be defunded in 2017, and then when Congress passed the budget for 2017, we received a budget cut, but we were funded. For 2018, again, we were also targeted for elimination as a program. Now, where we stand right now is that the administration's request for their budget for 2018, the administration's budget does call for the elimination of the Medicare SHIP program. The House budget also called for the elimination of the program. And on the Senate side, though, the Senate budget called for continued funding of the program at its current level, which is $47 billion nationally.
Okay.
So at this point, you're right. I mean, it is uncertain, and we really encourage all people who are interested in supporting services for older adults in terms of providing them with healthcare advocacy services that help them better understand their Medicare and their healthcare insurance options, and encourage them to get information about programs that will assist them with their medical expenses. We urge everyone to write their congressperson and senator at the federal level to, impress upon their legislators that they do fully support the federal Medicare SHIP program. I think that right now Congress, they passed this bipartisan budget act agreement a few weeks ago with the idea that sometime in March they were going to finalize the budget and actually develop a bill that would provide a plan for funding both federal and fund federal programs for the next 2 years. So again, we're not defunded yet, but I think there is a possibility, and I think anyone who does support these types of services should definitely contact their federal legislators, both congressional and Senate, in order to voice their support for the program.
Okay.
Okay.
Now, what does SHIP stand for?
It stands for State Health Insurance Program. So nationally, there is a SHIP program in every state in the United States. So there's 50 state SHIP programs, and then in each state, the program at the state level decides how they want to administer services at the local level. So here in California, our SHIP program essentially goes through the our state health insurance counseling and advocacy program. So the high caps that provide services at the local level are getting federal SHIP funding to help provide these services. But we also have state funds that support our work as well.
Right. Now, on the ground, should the defund go through, in actuality, what does that mean in communities? What will not be available in communities?
Well, that's an important point. Here in LA County, we receive both state funds and federal funds, but the federal funds account for 1/3 of our total funding for these services in terms of government funding. So,
that's significant,
right?
So a cut of 1/3 means 1/3 less services in our community, and we have one of the largest Medicare populations in the country. We have 1.3 million people who have Medicare in LA County, and about at least 30% of them are also eligible for Medi-Cal. And then, and we also have a very diverse community, both ethnically, linguistically. So even though Medicare is not a needs-based program, we have a Medicare population that really has important needs in terms of better understanding their Medicare, getting access to health care services, getting access to financial assistance programs that can help them in terms of meeting their medical care costs. So we would lose a lot here in LA County. The state funds would not be sufficient to preserve funding for the current level of services. Each year we serve about 9,000 to 10,000 people just through our telephone hotline.
Oh, wow.
So
incredible.
So you can see, a 30% cut in funding potentially
would be devastating.
30% cut in terms of service delivery. So it really would be devastating to the clients that we serve, and also our community partners who we support.
Right.
I mean, we provide training, we provide technical assistance to both social, healthcare, community partners who are also serving people who are older adults and younger persons with disabilities. So it would be a big loss for our community in many ways.
Yeah. I personally have a comment of just accommodation earlier with my heart transplant. I have these very expensive medicines, anti-rejection, anti-infection, and some kind of way something happened that didn't authorize something, and the pharmacy wouldn't approve it, and the Center for Healthcare Rights got involved.
Wow. Okay.
And it was late on a Friday or something like that, but they worked on your behalf to make sure you got that medication. So I remembered that, and I thought that this agency does really good work, and it's one of the things, Eileen, that we don't hear about until we need you all.
I know.
Yeah, So should everybody put on their correspondence letter SHIP? Is there a sometimes?
Well, if you'd like, I'd be happy to send you. There's a couple of websites that have template letters. So if you'd like,
that would be perfect. Okay.
Some information on that, and that way people can sort of use, there's some template letters available.
Okay.
Thanks so much for that.
Well, now, Dr. Payne, from a physician's point of view, what
are the takeaway points that you feel?
The most important point that she made was the necessity for this program. As you well know, our senior population is increasing by leaps and bounds every day. Not only that, there are a lot of people that are not seniors that qualify for Medicare.
The disabled.
Yeah. And they're a lot younger. They have renal disease and a host of other problems. So this program, first of all, we all need to get on our soapboxes and make sure this program is not defunded, because it would be a tremendous loss.
Okay. So, Eileen, give us your web address, give us contact information. We want to make sure, because the program is live now, but it's going to be streaming as long as, that technology is out there. And we want people to have the information where they can go at any time and connect with you and connect with their representative and that kind of thing. So give us some contact information that people can reach out to you and reach out to their representative.
Right now, our new website is still not up yet. We should have the new website up in a couple of weeks, but right now our website is not up. So what I would do is, in the interim, encourage anyone who is listening to this show either today or at a later time. The next 3 weeks will be important in terms of people showing their support for the federal SHIP program. And, one of the things that, congressional representatives who have said why the SHIP program is not needed, they point to the 1-800 Medicare hotline and say, we already have a hotline.
Okay.
But, and even though the Medicare hotline is a good hotline, they're not able and they're not really equipped to provide the kind of intervention and assistance that we can. They can provide basic information, but they're not really equipped to provide more detailed hands-on assistance when people have problems or issues.
Right. Okay.
So I would just urge everyone that if they haven't already, if they can contact their congressional representative in Congress or their senator. I mean, here in California, I would say probably the majority of the congressional delegation is supportive, but we do have, there are some that are not.
Yes.
Especially some of the Republican representatives
in the
California delegation. So if any of your listeners are, perhaps represented by, for example, I'll give you a couple of geographic areas in the LA County area. The Lancaster area, the congressional person probably would be good to reach out to him or her. Probably in the Orange County area, there's the legislators there to reach out and talk about the value of the SHIP program. Same thing with the San Diego area. So, although, we have pretty strong support from many of our California federal legislators, but we do have some that, may be opposed to continued federal funding for the Medicare SHIP program.
Okay. Well, we want to, and I personally want to thank you for your patience, but we want to thank you here at the show for coming on and explaining this to us and telling us why it's so vitally important. I think if you can find money to do all of these other things, that you can find money to keep programs like this that serve the community important. So from all of us here at the show and all of our listening audience and family, we do want to thank you for the work that you're doing. We want to thank Miss Christina, because if it wasn't for her, I would not have had the opportunity to speak with you. So I want to thank everybody on your staff that made this possible, too.
Okay, well, thank you for inviting us today.
Okay.
Thank you so much for joining us.
And have a good day. And we're going to ask once again that everyone contact your representative and tell them how you want this SHIP program at the federal level adequately funded. We're about to run out of time, so we want to thank you, and we look forward to talking to you again.
All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.
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 Bye, Miss Harper.
Okay.
All right, thanks a lot. That was very informative.
Yes, it was, and we still have another one. The Title V got defunded. We're going to talk about that at some other point too. Title V is where a lot of senior workers are able to work so many hours and that kind of thing. And the Freedom of Information Act is titled in it. Now, what they're doing, ladies and gentlemen, they can't roll back the act, or they're not rolling back the act. They're just taking the money out of it. And when you defund anything, when it comes to government, if you don't have money for that particular legislation, it's all but gone. It's all but dead. So you think, well, that don't affect me. Well, the Freedom of Information Act does, because if somebody does you wrong under certain conditions, under certain, the feds or something like that, that's the instrument that you can use to get to.
Under the Freedom Act, you have to give me this information.
Under the FOIA Act, it's called the FOIA Act, the Freedom of Information Act.
Right.
And I've used it personally, and it is a powerful tool for the American consumer.
Exactly.
We have a government that does provide the liberties and things that
to
we have
exercise
today.
our constitutional rights.
But at times you need to have some specific questions, and we sometimes ask questions, and it's like an ant asking an elephant something. So that FOIA is a tool, and it doesn't get rid of FOIA, but it defunds the money that's in that Title V.
Wow.
Any comments?
Like Ms. Harper said, I'm looking forward to her sending us these templates so that we can get it out there for each and every one of our audience members to be active in making their voices heard, because that's what we need. We need you to understand that we need you.
Yeah, we're going to be posting it on our webpage. Absolutely. And also, I had a late conversation with the national office concerning these very same subjects, and we look forward to having them on the office. Any last minute concerns, any last minute statements? We've got about 30 seconds left.
Oh, okay. Can I read this last little thing? It's a quote from Harriet Tubman. Every great dream begins with the dreamer. Always remember, you have within you the strength, the patience, and the passion to reach for the stars and change the world.
Well,
Harriet Tubman.
I tell you this, that's going to have to be the last word here at the Raymond Hall Show. We're going to hold to Harriet Tubman. Dr. Payne, we thank you so very much for coming into the studio and talking to us.
My pleasure.
Everyone, make sure that if you're a veteran, seek out a veteran service organization or work it out, whether you go to American Legion or some other organization in your community, be a part of something. Mrs. Walker, for the work that you do and for the work that your family do, I want to thank you. To each and every one, the Raymond Hall Show is the place where service is a different conversation. It's service that has built the nation. It's service that will maintain the nation. The question will be, what is your contribution to that foundation? We all don't have the same talents, and we all don't have the same time, assigned the same time, but given the talent of you in the assigned time of you, you do have a measure of service in you. So use that measure of service with this in mind. Your service will help to strengthen someone that you have yet to meet. This is the Raymond Hall Show. Have a good evening.
Thank you. Have a good day. Ta-ta.